questions? Yes, one at the back first. Yes, it can. The problem with lying down meditation is that when you put your body in that posture, your mind thinks that it's time for sleep. So it has this, like I was saying about this posture recognition thing. When you sit with your legs crossed and your back straight, the mind knows, oh, it's time to meditate. So it's very much easier. But if you're lying down, the signal that goes to your mind is, oh, it's time for sleep. So it's very hard. Unless the way the Buddha used to lie down was on his right hand side. You see in the classic posture of the Parinirvanas, with his hand under his head like this, with one leg resting upon the other. On the right hand side, this is called the lion's pose. So that's a good posture, and the way it's also it doesn't put so much. If you're lying on your right side, it doesn't put so much pressure on your heart as well. So you can use that posture as a very good one. It's good for your breathing. So rather than lying on your back, it's not so good for your breathing to lie on your side. And sure, you can do it, particularly if somebody's sick and they're in a hospital bed and they can't get up and walk around or sit up. Then they can do meditation lying down. Ajahn Brahm loves telling the story about when he had typhus, when he was in northeast Thailand, and he was stuck in a hospital bed, and he was really very, very sick and could barely walk to get up to go to the toilet, and it was impossible for him to sit up meditation. He was sprawled all over the place, and he just made a determination in his mind, well, I'm stuck here, I can't do anything, I may as well just try and meditate. And even though his posture was all over the place and he was lying in a strange way, his mind let go and he went into a very deep meditation, and he had the insight from that point on that it doesn't really matter about having a perfect posture. You can go into deep states of meditation in any kind of posture as long as you have that confidence of mind and just to stay with the meditation object. So sure you can, but be careful. I think if you are going to do lying down meditation, don't do it in your bed where you normally sleep, because that's just like another indication that it's sleep time. So maybe lie on a couch or on a floor with a cushion or something, because then you won't have that perception so strongly in your mind that it's time for sleep. But yes, you can do it, and if you are having trouble with your back or whatever, sitting, and if you don't much like walking meditation, then try it. It's good. It's good to change a little bit, and you'll find that later on when you are going to sleep, you find when you're drifting off, your mind will be more in a meditative state because you've been cultivating this lying posture. So it's very good to do like a bit of breath meditation or loving kindness meditation just before you go to sleep. And then just upon waking up, if you can re-establish your mindfulness, you find you'll sleep much more deeply, more efficiently, and you won't have bad dreams, and your mind won't be so restless when you're sleeping. Your sleep will be much more peaceful, and when you wake up in the morning, you'll feel much more refreshed and much more alert. So it's a good thing to do. I mean, some people have this difficulty of they meditate in the evening. Sometimes if they go to a deep state, they get a lot of energy in the mind. They find it very difficult to sleep. So I think the preferable kind of object to do is one like loving kindness meditation is much better, because it doesn't generally give so much of that kind of restless energy. It's a very soft kind of energy that you develop in the loving kindness or compassion or sympathetic joy or gratitude. Or you can just, for instance, if you're lying on your bed, you can just cultivate thoughts of gratitude. Say, I'm so thankful to have this opportunity to sit here or to lie here and to still the mind. I'm so thankful for the life that I've had, the opportunities I've had, the fact that I've got my health, that I've got enough material support, that I've come across these beautiful teachings, that I do have the inclination of mind to try and understand the Dhamma and to incline towards peace. So just keep going along that particular line of thought of gratitude, and this is like one way you can put your mind to a state of peace when you're going to sleep, and you'll find that you'll sleep very beautifully, and you won't be so restless, and you'll feel much more alert in the next day. There's many different things you can do, but some people do struggle if they meditate at night. They find the mind doesn't settle down much. But just making just the same objects that I was talking about before, being at peace with whatever's happening in the moment. So if you notice frustration coming into your mind and you can't go off to sleep, and you say, oh, it's okay, the door to my heart's open to your frustration or insomnia or whatever you're suffering from, rather than contending the struggle with it or getting angry. One lovely story the Buddha taught to the monks was about the anger-eating demon. Many of you have probably heard this story, but it's worth repeating because it says a lot about how we meditate. So there was an emperor who had gone out for business one day, and he left his throne empty. And while his guards were not watching, this horrible demon came into his palace and jumped on his seat. And by the time the guards found out, they had this awful creature sitting there, and he was very, very foul, smelling, very nasty, ugly-looking little demon. He wasn't particularly big, but he was very, very offensive, and was using some quite coarse language and very uncouth. So what the guards did was start shouting at him, say, "Get out of here! You know, who the hell do you think you are? Do you know whose seat you're sitting in? This is the emperor. You know, if you don't get out of here now, you're in big trouble, mate. If you stay here, we're going to beat you up." So as soon as they started talking like this to the demon, he started to get bigger and bigger, more smelly, more ugly, more offensive, more bad-mouthed, and generally more repulsive. And so the more abuse they started heaping on this demon, he just grew and grew and grew and got just worse and worse and worse until he just about filled up the whole room. And by this stage, the guards and the palace attendants were getting very, very frightened. And then the emperor came back, and he was the emperor because he was a very wise fellow. And as soon as he saw the demon, he knew what to do. He said, "Oh, demon, so lovely to see you. Oh, welcome. Haven't seen you for such a long time. And I hope my guards and my attendants have been looking after you well. Would you like a cup of tea? What kind of tea would you like? Would you like Earl Grey? Would you like English breakfast tea? Or maybe chamomile tea? You're looking a bit tired." And so the emperor started talking like this to the demon, and then eventually his attendants picked up and they got in on the act, and they thought, "Oh, okay, this is what we need to do." And so with each loving gesture, each loving thought, each loving word towards this demon from all of the attendants and the emperor, he just grew a little bit less smelly, less offensive, less repulsive. His language was cleaned up very quickly, and he shrunk. And they just kept pouring him with loving kindness and acts of goodwill until eventually he disappeared. And that was it. This is the story that the Buddha told. So the anger-eating demon, in this case, is like your fault-finding mind getting out of control. So when something happens in your meditation that you don't like, for instance, you think of somebody who's hurt you in the past, and you get angry at that thought, and you just keep developing that negativity again and again and again. It just grows out of all proportion. So that you start out with a little bit of anger like the little demon. The more you feed it, the more you think about it, the more you try and push it away and get frustrated, you find it just grows and grows and grows until it fills up your whole mind. But when it approaches, if you're like the wise emperor, you start talking it to like the emperor, say, "Oh, it's okay, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, the door to my heart's open to you. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be cared for, may you not be departed from any goodness that you have, may you be free from your suffering. Oh, it's okay, there, I know you're suffering, just, you can stay if you want to, I don't mind." Just have this loving attitude to whatever comes in your mind, no matter how painful it is. So if you have this welcoming mind, where you're just open to whatever's coming without judging, without criticizing, without trying to push it away or change it in any particular direction, and then also turn it around and use these positive perceptions or positive thoughts towards it, and you'll find that it'll just go away by itself, and your whole relationship with that thing will change. whatever it is, if it's bad memories from the past or hurtful things that people have done to you which you can't forget. If you keep relating to it with negativity and frustration, you find it'll never go away. It'll just stay there and get worse. But if you say, "Oh, it's okay, I forgive you. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm prepared to let it go. May you be happy. May you be free." And then the problem disappears. This is the same with anything that comes into your mind which is causing you problems. So it's just the basic teaching of how you relate to things rather than what the object is. It's not really the problem. The problem is what we put between ourselves and the object in our mind. So don't forget the story of the anger-eating demon. It's a very lovely story, and it's something that we're all prone to unless you're an arahant. We have to deal with anger coming into the mind, or ill will, or frustration, or negativity. And this is the best way to deal with it. So one more question.
Yeah, good evening, Ajahn Mudita. Pertaining to the question you answered our brother earlier, I tried that because I had the same experience, that tightness in the forehead, and I asked a few monks and they gave me instructions and it doesn't work. And I asked another monk, and he told me there is a technique where I use a wrong technique where you have to watch the breath right under the nostril, which is just in between the upper lips and the nostril. And I tried that and it didn't work.
Oh, good.
And I read it in the sutta, and the Buddha described the same thing.
Yeah, it's translated in different ways. It's the Pali word is parimukhang. It's like in front of you. It's like where you put your sati, your mindfulness. So you establish your mindfulness in front of you, but some monks translate it as like at the tip of your nose. So it means like putting your mindfulness of the breathing in front of you, like making it the most important thing. But if that technique works for you, that's great. I mean, the reason they say like look at the breath as it's going above the lip or beneath the nostrils, it's just so it makes it easier for you to locate it, to get a handle on the perception or the feeling of the breath. But if you take the language in the Pali more figuratively, the way that the Buddha is talking is that you make this the most important thing in your mind, the breath. So that's like you're placing that in the forefront of your mind rather than looking at a breath in front of your face. But in terms of your particular problem, I think it's different for every person. Like because it's working for you, it may not work for another person. Usually the tightness is a consequence of trying too hard or struggling, trying to control things. And this is just a habit of mind that most of us are prone to, that we carry into our meditation. And so it's like having too many expectations, forcing things too much, like trying to get somewhere, trying to do something, trying to achieve. So it's basically discontent. And so if you deepen the feeling of contentment and ease and that clarity of mind that comes along with it, then you'll find the physical problems that you're having will go away as well. So the deeper you go into the present moment, the deeper you go into the silence and the breath, the awareness of the body completely disappears and it looks after itself. Like I was saying before, there's a strange mechanism that happens in meditation that the body tends to heal itself. The less focus and concern that you have for your body, the more you get out of the way and allow it to do what it knows best. And you'll find that the tension that you may have in your face or in any other part of your body will go away. But it takes a lot of guts to do that, to go to the point where you let go of the body, and let go of the perceptions of the body. But if you can do it, you will notice that those pains will disappear. So, yeah, as I was saying, as long as you're aware that you are breathing in and breathing out, it doesn't matter where exactly you locate it. Just knowing in your mind that in, out, that's all. So the idea behind that is that you're changing the perception from the body contemplation, which is like the physical feeling of the breath, to the mind contemplation of just the pure feeling aspect without looking at this particular tactile response. So it's just subtly changing what you're looking at to make it more refined. This is the way Ajahn Brahm teaches, and I tend to agree with his approach. But you'll find many different teachers saying or interpreting this particular text in different ways. Some say locate it at your lips, some say look at it in your chest, some say in your belly. It doesn't really matter as long as you're aware that it's coming in and going out. Okay? I didn't really answer your question, but thank you for your comment.
Venerable, with your permission, if we could have just one last question. I have a written question here. If you don't mind, we'll reserve that for the last question to this question. In some meditation class I attended, we were told to dedicate the merits of meditation to devas and to those departed. Is this a normal practice?
I think it's more normal in I think Burmese culture, if I'm not mistaken, and the sort of South Asian, Southeast Asian, Theravadan cultures. I don't have so much experience of that in Perth. I mean, the way Ajahn Brahm teaches, he tends to de-ritualize things a bit, and he tries to keep things fairly bare bones in terms of doing a lot of bowing and chanting and formulaic kinds of approaches. So it's definitely a good thing to do. It certainly can't hurt. It just depends on how you do it is the main thing. So if you're just doing it out of habit without any much thought about why you're doing it or what the purpose is, then it's just an empty gesture. So with anything like bowing to the Buddha or bowing to a monk, offering dana, giving generosity, doing acts of charity, it's the attitude of the mind that goes along with it. It's why you're doing it. It's like your contemplation that's going in your mind. I'm doing this not to try and get anything, but just out of sheer joy of giving, or sheer appreciation, sheer gratitude for the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha when you're doing the chanting. So you have this selflessness when you're doing these things. So you're not doing it out of ego, or you're not trying to prove anything to anyone. Say, oh look, I'm a good Buddhist because I'm chanting so beautifully. You just do it because it's out of the purity of your heart. So this is the key to these kind of things. So if you're sharing merit with your relatives and the devas, then give it your whole heart, put everything into it. So may you really receive the merits of this. May you really appreciate what I've been doing. May you celebrate this. So these thoughts should go along. It's the same when you do the bowing. Don't just do it in a routine kind of fashion, in a sloppy way. Put your whole heart into it. Same with the chanting. And if you can, try and understand what you're chanting, understand the meaning behind the words. It'll make it a lot more powerful for you to do, because you'll understand exactly what you're chanting. They're not just words. They actually have very deep meaning. And most of the things that we chant go right back to the time of the Buddha and the words that the earliest Buddhists used. So they have a lot of power only if you know exactly what they mean and why you're doing it. So this is the same with anything that you do in your life. You just give it 100% effort, 100% attention. Same when you meditate. Same with anything. Don't do it in a half-hearted, lackluster kind of routine way. And you'll find that you'll have a lot of energy in your mind, and your life will go by much more smoothly. Okay?
Thank you, Venerable. Well, I suppose that will be the last. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay. So that will be the last question for the night. I'm sure you agree with me that this session, this evening, special session,